document, and we'll go through and answer the questions and do the listening and reading together. But you don't have to send the one today like you did yesterday. Now, this collaborator is supposed to be linked to the Otis attendance, but I don't know how that works. So it's probably better if you log in using your Blackboard UJID. But the link I sent you, I mean, it should be okay. I don't know how it works. We'll find out. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is open up yesterday's homework stuff, and we can just take a quick look at that. I had a quick look at your homework that you sent me in yesterday, and yeah, good job, everybody. It was a lot of work. So let me just go into switch apps from this one to Microsoft Word. So we're going to do today for attendance. I'll just take a screenshot here of who's in the room, and we'll do it now and at the end of class. And I'll just do attendance that way for now. I think some kind of record of who's here. So let me try this sharing application. We're going to stop with this one for now and go over to Microsoft Word. Can I do that? Yes, I can. On my computer, I will have an attendance record for today's class. As far as the Otis section, I think it's right now, because a lot of students, you know, the Blackboard has a lot of problems. Just having some coffee. So I think, you know, there's going to be a lot of classes with the same situation. People can't log in. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. Just join this session. We got the record, and I think that'll be okay for now. And stick with me, because I don't have much experience using screencasting or Collaborate. But today we'll try and get through from 11 till 12:20. Try and get through as much as we can. Then this afternoon, maybe switch over to WhatsApp if you need help, have any questions, more practice, whatever. Okay, so let's take a look at just quickly yesterday. So here, the homework, I asked you to do 2 of these questions, any 2. So question 1, where do you live? And question 6, up to you, choose any 2 of these. I answered 1 and 6. Where do you live? I live in North Oberhurt District, just south of Kingside Road, near the McDonald's. And number 6 question is favorite place in your home? I think the living room, because I like to watch TV and sit on the sofa. It's very comfortable. Okay, part 1 from Unit 7A, the opener, describing what you see in the picture. Little fish inside of some kind of can. There was a note that it was from Japan somewhere. And what's going on? I think fish is hiding, doesn't want to get eaten by the shark or something like that. All right, this one was just which speaker goes with which of the sentences. So I'm going to send you all a copy of this after we're just taking a look at it. Discussion questions. This is about where you spend the most time in your room, and do different people in the family use the house differently? Do you have a lot of visitors or just for your family? All right. Warm-up question about New York. I've been there a few times, so I think it's an exciting place, lots of buildings. And here was the vocabulary question, matching the sentences and filling in the gaps using our vocabulary words from the top. This one was pretty tricky, answering the questions about this 3D model of Manhattan and what Manhattan was like before it got developed. So this one, I found reading over your homework, there are a few problems with used to, so we're definitely going to review that in today's class. But here are some examples changing the sentences using used to. New York used to be a lot greener than it is now. And the early residents didn't used to live in a large city. So that's the negative used to, and no D on the end here. Notice people used to farm the land, farmers used to hunt wild animals for food, and what used to be in the area where Fifth Avenue is now. Sentence number 5. It's not possible to use used to in that case. We'll take a look at that later. And some cases we can use used to and would. Some cases only used to, and some cases we should you just use the past tense, were. Then going on to page 52. Yes, there were comments about New York, and we had to fill in the gaps, and these are the correct words to fill in the gap. And out of those sentences, which ones can be rewritten using used to? And 1, 2, 4, and 5 can use used to. Here's an example. This area didn't used to have so many skyscrapers. Then section 4 and 5, which ones can use would? Only sentences 2 and 5 can use would. So a couple of examples. Sentence 2, my friends and I would play in the street when we were children in the past. We wouldn't go out if it was raining. Okay, next one was from the workbook. And this was true or false. And the false ones, sentence 2 and 5. And number 2 was false because it's a heritage site now. So we can use used to. And number 5, it was invaded in the past, not now. Section 8 was about vocabulary and completing the sentences. Like I said, I'll send you this document. You can check your own answers. Then taking a look at different kinds of houses, which is the theme of Unit 7. And there are hundreds of different kinds of houses. So this is just a quick introduction to some different styles. Where do you want to live in? I chose the tiny house because I hate cleaning, and I think a tiny house would be easy to clean. And I wouldn't want to live in a mobile home because in TV shows and movies, that's where the crazy people live. Okay, these were just questions to get you thinking. You didn't really have to write an answer for any of these. So we got city center, downtown, suburbs, like where I live in Jeddah, and the countryside, kind of more where UJ is, as a fan, out in the farmers areas and stuff. So the only really traditional home there was the yurt. And as far as the cost of the homes, I put here, I think the cheapest might be the mobile home at around 50,000, depends where you are, and McMansions could go for several $1 million. Okay, and finally, this is just find a picture and say whether you would or wouldn't like to live in this home that you found the picture of. And I found one because I like the rooftop kind of penthouse condo with a nice view. So that was my example. So let me share that document with you right now on WhatsApp, and then you can have that for reference for yesterday's homework. There we go. So I also sent you the Wednesday file. If you guys want to open that now, let me switch over. And basically, as we go through stuff in the book today using the software, you guys can just fill in the answers as we go. So how's everybody doing so far? You still with me? Good. I'm not going to do the video chat, but we will use the sharing the application thing. So our goal for today, review the grammar just a little bit, and then we're going to try and get through 7B and C. And yeah, this is very interesting, studying and teaching from home instead of going into school every day. So see how it goes. All right. Are we still sharing Microsoft Word? Okay, this is the document I sent on WhatsApp this morning, and this is our Wednesday class. Okay. As far as the exams go, quiz number 2, writing exam, final exam. I don't know anything yet. Our class, all the students did the midterm exam. So that's good. Many classes didn't finish the midterm exam. So I don't know what they're going to do, but at least for you guys, you all finished the midterm exam and we'll get the scores for that soon. So that's good. But the other exams that are coming, quiz 2 and writing exam and final exam and the project, so far I have no idea what we're going to do there. So we'll find out. Someone will make a decision and tell us, but I really don't know. All right, let's see if I can open the software so you can try and follow along in the document and using this collaborate, and we'll just go through and answer some of these together for today. So let me change over to, how come I can't see life? It's a little fussy. There it is. Oh, that's what's up. No, I don't want to share that one. I want to share life. It keeps disappearing. There it is. Oh, it disappeared again. Just be patient, and we'll get it. Let me try it this way. I think once I get it, I should just leave it up there. Share application. And okay, maybe I'll close the application and open it again, and we'll see if that works. What a pain. Okay, I can share the whole screen. I don't want to do that. Application window is better because there it is. Oh, it disappeared again. Okay, I think it's working now. Wow. So we'll just leave that open for now. So quick review, grammar summary, unit 7. And here we go. Used to, would, and past simple. Then we've got our comparison adverbs, and we've got the comparison patterns. That's it for grammar for this unit. So yesterday we finished 7A. Let's jump into 7B. And to start this morning, the first question is about the materials used for the houses in these four pictures. So we've got bricks, cloth, rock, and wood. And there we go. So which of these houses are made out of which materials? Okay, you guys can see it now. The software with the picture of the four houses, 7B, it's up there. So the first picture, that's a place I went last year, Cappadocia in Turkey. So those homes are right in the mountainside. They're made out of rock. The second picture on the right, at the top, Mongolian yurt. In the book, they call it also a gur, and that one is made out of cloth. You can set it up and take it down and move to a new place, just like a tent, a very fancy tent. Picture C, bottom left, made out of wood, and bottom right, that means we've only got bricks left. So that's our four houses and the materials that they're made of. Okay, we're going to listen to a TV show called Home Planet. And we've got some questions that the viewers sent in here. And we've got the answers over here. And we've got to kind of match up the questions with the answers. Let's go over them right now. Question A is, why are you so interested in traditional house design? And that matches up with number one here. Traditional houses usually survive bad, I'm guessing, weather conditions better than modern ones. So they match up questions and answers, and we got to figure out which they match up with. Let's read them first. Number 3B, we live in a new house that my dad calls a box. What do you think of the design of modern houses? Number C, why are some types of house more common in some areas of the world than in others? D, you mentioned shelters in your last program. What's the difference between a shelter and a home? And E, I'd like to stay in a gur, but they look a bit basic. What are they really like? So let's listen, and then we'll try and match these up here. Okay, so that's our first listening. And we'll go through it again. You guys couldn't hear the audio? So all of this audio, you notice that was track 56. The folder I shared yesterday, it's got all that stuff. You could download it and play it on your phone or play it on your own computer if you need to. I already sent you all the audio for this yesterday. So let's listen again, see if we can answer these questions. This time we'll turn on our closed caption and we'll go through it again. From the top.
Track 56. Unit 7B. 1.
As an architect, I'm interested in everything about house design, but we can learn so much from traditional buildings and designs. Traditional houses usually survive bad weather conditions better than modern ones. So the question is, what can we copy from those houses when we build new houses? Like the rock homes, you know? They heat up less quickly than brick houses, which is great in hot climates.
Okay, speaker number 1.
2.
Is an architect.
Well, a shelter is a lot less permanent and more
I would say
basic
if you
than a
couldn't
house.
hear it right now, I don't know, just try and follow along right now, then you can listen again later. So speaker number 1 there was an architect, and very interesting, she was saying that sometimes traditional homes are better, stronger, have some benefits more than modern homes. For example, being able to withstand bad weather. So that's quite interesting that we could learn from older homes and traditional homes. So taking a look, we know that matches up with number 1, traditional houses survive bad weather conditions. Let's continue.
The igloos that people build with ice in the Arctic region are a perfect example of a shelter. A shelter just protects you from the weather. But a home has several.
So here, which one is this? Speaker 2. I think that goes with down here, D and E. Talking about shelters, difference between a shelter and a home. So shelter is just temporary protection from the weather, whereas a home is where you stay all the time. Okay, we'll continue number 3. Speaker 3, what's this about?
Several spaces with different uses.
3.
I'd say a ger is both a shelter and a home. It's organised around a fire in the centre with a chimney, and it has separate areas for men and women. A ger isn't as solid as a brick or wooden house, but you can take it down and put it up much faster.
What's a yurt really like? And that looks like matches with this one up here. It's meant for nomadic people so they can put it up and take it down very quickly.
Which is what nomads need.
4.
Well, it all depends on the local weather. I mean, if you live in an area that has regular floods, it's a good idea to live in a house on stilts. That way you can live much more safely above the water, and you don't have to worry every time it rains a lot.
Stilts.
And the higher
these poles underneath the house to keep it above the water. So if you've got a flood and the water goes up, the house stays dry and keeps the people safe. So let's listen to number 5, and then we'll take a break from this for a minute. Okay, again, comparing traditional and modern homes. So rock homes heat up less quickly than modern homes. All right, I think what we're going to do now is we've done the listening part. So now let's try a little vocabulary practice. And instead of sharing that program, we're going to try to share a Chrome tab. Which one? There we go. Yay, now we're in Quizlet. Unit 7 has quite a lot of vocabulary here. So it's going to take some time to go through it. We've got 3 different vocabulary sections. Let's take a look at the first one right now. Over here on Quizlet, here's our class group. Part 1, let's start there. All right, just going to introduce the vocabulary first, and then we'll go through and we'll do the test. Okay, first one, cramped. When you got too much stuff in a small space. So you've got a small home and a lot of stuff or a lot of people inside, but it could be an office or any kind of building. It's cramped. Flatmate. In America, usually they say roommate. So you move out of your parents' place, you get your own apartment and live together with a friend, then you guys are roommates or flatmates. So in American English, usually apartment, and in the UK, a flat. Someone who shares an apartment with another person. Habitat. This is usually talking about nature, wild animals, the place that the wild animals live or some kind of plant in nature. But we can also use it for people, their natural habitat. That's just the place that you live or where you can find wild animals or plants. Next one, privacy. So it's basically having your own space. Nobody else can see you or know what you're doing. So you go in your room, shut the door, you want to chill by yourself, have some privacy, there you go. And the opposite of privacy is public. Next one, shared. So they've got shared bikes now. That's very popular on the street. All these bikes, it's not your bike, it's not anybody's bike except the company, and you can take it and use it and put it back. And we've got ride sharing. So if something is shared, it belongs to or it's used by more than one person. Shelter, it's raining out. You look for somewhere, something you can stand under to protect from the rain. Get some shelter. Yes, I can send the Quizlet set, but let's go through it right now together. Then I'll send you the links and you can practice on your own anytime. Shelter, protection from weather or dangers. So this is just cover, something you can stand under while it's raining. Atmosphere. This has 2 meanings, and I think both of them are in Unit 7. So one meaning is, for example, you go to your favorite coffee shop. Why do you go there? Because it feels comfortable. There's just some special feeling, the music, the decoration. So atmosphere is like the feeling of some place like a restaurant, coffee shop, or a home. The other meaning we'll get to, it's like the air around the earth. Okay, bear, quite simply, big wild animal. And we've got them in Canada. There's polar bears, brown bears, black bears, grizzly bears. Over in China, they've got panda bears. Next one, beaver. This is the national animal of Canada. I think you can see it on Canada's 5-cent coin, and they're all over the place. They live in the rivers, have a big tail, and they eat trees. Okay, block. If you're in a big city, like New York, for example, or my hometown, Calgary, the streets are numbered. 7th Street, 8th Street, 9th Street. So basically from one street to the next street, that's one side of the block. So the block is going to be buildings with streets on all sides, a square shape. Built up, this is another word for developed, a developed area. So right now I live in Ophir. Many years ago there was nothing here, maybe the ocean, and now it's being developed. It's getting built up, more and more buildings. Building schools, shopping malls. Financial, this is about finance, money, banking, investing, grasslands. In the book, we were just looking at the yurt in Mongolia. Mongolia is grasslands. So it's basically just land that's covered in grass. Pretty simple. Marsh. This is like a lake, but it's just wet ground. So it's not something you can go swimming in. And maybe find a good picture of that one to show you. Ducks love marshes. So it's usually got a lot of tall grass and stuff that grows there, and there's water, but you can't really go swimming in it. Neighborhood, which neighborhood do you live in Jeddah? It's just the area around your home. The area of a town or city around your home. Okay, potential. If I said a person has potential, or maybe a place has potential, that means we think it has a good chance to develop and become better in the future. Resident, someone who lives somewhere. So I'm right now a resident of Saudi Arabia. Skin. Now, of course, humans have skin, but we're talking about animal skin. So people use cow skin to make leather clothes and belts and things like that. And in the history of Canada and North America, they used a lot of the wild animals and took their skin and fur to make clothes. Skyscraper, very big, tall building in the city. A spot. This is a nice spot for a picnic. This is a good spot to take a picture, a scenic spot. This is just a place that's good for something like having a picnic or taking a photo. Turkey, we're not talking about the country here. What is it? It's a big bird, like a giant chicken, and it's a very popular food item in North America, maybe the UK. I don't think I've seen it here in Saudi Arabia. I don't know, maybe there's turkey. Yeah, there's turkey, sure. At Panda, you can buy turkey meat. I've seen it. So it's a just big bird, big chicken. Okay, bricks. I think houses here in Jeddah seem to be mostly made of kind of special bricks for the weather. A lot of houses around the world made of bricks. So it's kind of building material, kind of block shaped. Cloth. So clothes are made of cloth. What else is made of cloth? Curtains, bags. It's a material that's used for making clothes and other stuff. Okay, 6 more words, almost done. Design. The design of this house is very attractive. So design is someone made a plan, maybe an artistic plan, or maybe design could be it's well designed, means it's easy to use. So design is just the way something is planned or made, the way it looks, and how convenient it is to use it. Nice design. Floods, too much water. in Jeddah, if it rains hard, some areas of the city will flood and the water gets deep and doesn't go away. Too much water level rises up and covers the roads or fields and might cause damage to homes and buildings and cars and all that. Okay, in the book, I think you might have seen yurt, Y-U-R-T. It's the same thing. I'm more familiar with yurt, and it's just the Mongolian tent homes, like you saw in the picture. They're actually quite nice inside. Rock. This is easy. It's just something very hard you can find in the ground. Rocks. Stilt. We saw the wooden homes have the stilts underneath to keep them above the water level. A tall post used to make something high and support something. Okay, untidy. You guys at home right now, is your room tidy or untidy? Untidy, not organized, stuff everywhere, messy. Tidy, everything is nicely organized and stuff put away. Okay, let me see if I can find. We might as well test out this software and see what we can do with it. So I'm going to find another browser tab and see if I can find a good picture for you. And might as well get used to, okay, here we go. Oh, he's so cute. So let's swap our tabs over here for a moment and share application Chrome tab. There. So I did a search for beaver animal, and this is what he looks like. They eat trees and they make their houses out of wood. And it is the national animal of Canada because they work hard. I don't know exactly why. Okay. Now let's just take a quick break for a minute. I'm doing all the talking here. Can any of you turn on your mics and let me hear you talk? And you see down at the bottom this raise hand. So if you want to try out your microphone and speaking, just click on the raise hand at the bottom. And I want to hear some of you guys talk for a minute. Then maybe we'll see if we can do something. Yes, Mohamed. I'm trying to figure out how does this work here. I see you have raised your hand. Can you guys turn on your mic? I want to hear if you guys can talk. Just
Hello, can you hear me?
oh, beautiful. Yes, I hear you.
Yeah.
I think it's more interesting if it's not just me talking, but if everybody turns on their microphone at the same time, it's going to be a little crazy. So I'll just have to try to figure that out. Okay, I don't have a Kahoot prepared with the vocabulary, but there is the test that we can do. So I'm going to share that instead of our beaver picture, and at least Yeah, let me first go back to here and share the link again. And then you guys can do your own practice. Class join link. Yeah, right now it's 11:38, so we still got like 40 minutes left. I think we can just review this vocabulary part one more time, and then we'll take a look at the grammar. So hang in there for a sec. Back to part one. Okay, for this one, I think you guys can try turn your mics on, and we'll do this Quizlet review the vocabulary together. You got the answer? Just call it out. What do we call a place that provides protection from weather or dangers?
Shelter.
Nice. Who was that? Okay, tall post used to elevate and support something. Anybody?
Spot.
A spot is a good place to do something like a picture or have a picnic. So like the wooden homes, they've got those big posts underneath to keep them high above the water. I'm going to show you another picture here. Have you ever seen those guys that they stand on the wood to make them very tall, like chopsticks? It's the same word as this. Stilts. Okay, what do we call people who live in some place? I live in Saudi Arabia. I have an Iqama, so that makes me
Resident.
good job. The way something has been planned or made, the way it looks, the ease of using it. This house has a very nice, or maybe a car.
Design.
Yes, good job. Around your home, that is your
Neighborhood.
Neighborhood.
excellent. Too much water after the rain and it doesn't go away.
Float.
Excellent. Let's get more of you on the mic. Okay, big animal with thick fur.
Bear.
In Canada, we've
Bear.
got polar bears. Yes. Okay, getting there. What are clothes made of?
Block.
Block maybe for houses, but clothes are made of cloth. So some kind of fabric. The tall post used to elevate and support something is our stilts. Stilt. Okay, the land that is wet all year. And that one, actually, I want to show you a picture because it's a special kind of place. So let me just see if I can get faster at switching over to a new tab. There we go. Share. Okay, I mentioned stilts. This is the stilt walker, like the house stilts. Now we're going to take a look at marsh land. Oh, there we go. So you see how there's water everywhere, and the water stays there, but it's not like an ocean or a lake. There's a lot of grass. Usually ducks and birds. This place, there's fish there too. And nice, so let's go back to our let, and this one is the marsh. Way something looks, planned, made, how to use it, the
design,
excellent. It starts raining. You're gonna try and find
Umbrella.
shelter. Yeah, if you got an umbrella, that works too. Okay, my ikama means I am a resident. Land that has grass. This one is easy. It's the grassland.
grassland,
Grassland.
Easy. Getting there. After we finish this, we're going to take a quick look at the grammar, I think. Okay. So next one up here. We've got a small space and a lot of people or things inside. We say it's too
Cramped.
cramped,
good job. Too much water. And
Flood.
water goes up and doesn't go away. Yeah, it's a flood. Okay. Public is somewhere everybody can go, and your own space. Nobody else can go there.
privacy,
Privacy.
Yes.
Behavior.
Something belongs to, used by, shared more than one person, and there's the clue right here.
shared,
Yes. Something has a good chance to develop or become better in the future. It has
Potential.
potentially, yes. Okay, around your home. Now, this one in Canada, we do the OUR, and our book is British English. URHOD. In American, no U. OR. Big animal, thick fur, roar.
Peer.
Yeah. Okay, we're halfway done. Not enough space for the people or things inside. So we could say crowded, but this is cramped. The land that's wet all year with the ducks and grass and the marsh. What we use to make clothes. It's the same word, just no ES. Cloth.
Atmosphere. We can't hear you, doctor.
Hello, check, check. Okay, seems to be working now. Good. All right, small place, good for something. Take a picture, have a picnic. Yes, very nice Musab spot. Land covered in grass, easy.
Grassland. Grassland.
Grassland.
You got it. Getting there. Banking, money, investing. So the
Financial.
subject finance, and this is an adjective, financial. Outer covering of animals, humans have it too,
Skin.
but we don't usually use human skin for making stuff. Very tall building in a city, like
Skyscraper.
Yeah. The home or environment of animals, plants, or people is natural.
Habitat.
That comes from the French, I think. Habit. Someone has a big chance to develop in the future. You have great.
Potential.
Yes. In physics, we also have potential energy and kinetic energy. My own special place I have.
Privacy.
Yes. Shared. By more than one person means it's shared. Almost there. Sharing an apartment, we've got roommate, or in British English, the flatmate. Place good for doing something. What a nice spot to stop and rest. Block of material used in building. Usually we have bricks.
Bricks.
Oh, it should be just brick, one single. I like it. Area with buildings, a developed area.
Built up.
So, yes, this area is built up. Financial. I need some financial advice. The mood you get from coffee shops, restaurants, something like that, a special atmosphere. A solid mixture of minerals. This is just quite simply rock. Rocks are usually made of different minerals. Killing it. Nice. Outer covering of an animal used to make clothes. That's good old skin. Tall building, sky. Scraping the sky. Natural home. Habitat. The Mongolian home. I call it a yurt. In the book, they also call gur. Canada's animal, you remember that one? The big teeth, eats trees. Anybody?
Beaver.
Good job. Messy, not organized.
Untidy.
Very good. Okay, square shape buildings, many different buildings, streets on all sides,
Block.
a block of buildings, a block of apartments. Big chicken bird, delicious.
Turkey.
The name of the country too. Ooh, Canada's bird, I know this one.
Beaver.
Beaver. A lot of buildings.
Built up.
Ooh, not organized, untidy. You share an apartment with someone else. British English, flatmate. American English, roommate. Rock. Minerals, hard. Mongolian tent home. I think we've only got a couple left. Big chicken, turkey,
Turkey.
block. Okay, we have learned everything. So now what we're going to do, have a quick look at this grammar stuff, especially used to and would. So let me just open that up here and we can try it out. Because I haven't done this one yet, which is using PowerPoint. So now we're going to share PowerPoint instead of the browser. Applications, PowerPoint, there it is. Yay. Okay. Everybody with me so far? So this grammar is talking about past habits. We use these generally for would and used to, something in the past that is different from now. So for example, now I live in Jeddah. In the past, I lived in China. So I could say, I used to live in China, but I don't anymore, and now I live in Saudi Arabia. So used to, something that was different from now that stopped. When I was a child, I used to play ice hockey, but I don't play it anymore. So again, a habit I had, not just one time, but when I was a child, I played many times. I used to play ice hockey, but I don't anymore. So used to, something that changed over time. And the negative is also true. I didn't used to live in Jeddah. I didn't used to be a teacher. Before I was a teacher, I used to be a reporter. So we can use the negative as well as positive. Would is more like sometimes, and it's about doing something, not being something. So I can say, when I was a child, my family and I would travel to visit relatives. We would have dinner together every Sunday. We would often go to the movies. We would go to the beach. So this is doing something like a habit, and we can use would in that case. All right, the last one, be used to, is when you do something and get comfortable and familiar with it. So this is just so you don't get confused. Past habits. When I was a child, my grandma would read to me every night. Does she do it now? No, finished. This is only in the past. So a lot of these begin with, explaining the time. When I was a child, 10 years ago, or in the past, something like that. In this case, because it's an action, we can also use used to. When I was a child, my grandma used to read to me every night. Okay, so far so good. You guys are with me. You can see the PowerPoint. All good? All right. So in this case, for a past action, a habit, we can use both would or used to. Then we've got something called past states. So I said, for example, I used to be a reporter, but now I'm a teacher. So in this case, we can use used to, but we can't use would. So here's one, like something, don't like something. I used to like tomato soup, but now I don't like it anymore. Now I hate it, but I used to like it. we can't use would in this case. When I was a child, we could say, I would often eat tomato soup, but like, we can't use would together because it's just a state. Like we studied the stative and dynamic verbs. Okay, let's look at some negative examples. I never used to be very good at languages, but now I'm very good at it. So this changed over time. I didn't used to be addicted to social media, but now I am. So something that changed over time. So we can use never or didn't, and you notice here it changes. I never used to, I didn't use to. So we'll practice a few of these. And another negative, I use not to. This one is not very common. You're not going to hear it very much, but probably good to just know it for the quiz, just in case. I used not to be good at languages. I used to not be good. All right, let's look at some questions with this grammar point. Now you live in Jeddah. Did you used to live somewhere else? Yes, I used to live in China. I used to live in Canada before I came to Jeddah. And this last one is be used to, completely different meaning. It's not about past habit or past state. This one is about becoming familiar with something. So for example, I moved to Jeddah. I didn't like Jeddah when I first came here, but now slowly, more and more, I'm familiar and comfortable here. So now I am used to Jeddah. Okay, we just started studying online. I think I'm not used to it yet because this is like our first day of having this kind of class. So I'm not used to this yet. But maybe after 1 or 2 weeks, we'll be used to it. So I'm used to studying every day, but I found it hard at first. This is about over time, you get comfortable and familiar with something. Studying every day was hard at first because I wasn't used to it. Now I am used to it. It's hard at first. You'll soon get used to it. Okay, I think we don't need to worry about pronunciation too much. Used. I used an opener to open the bottle. I used to live around here. I used to live around here. I am used to working hard. Let's try a couple of practice questions, then we'll look for more practice questions online. Which one's not used for a past habit? And anybody?
Would.
Would is for a past habit. When I was young, I would watch TV every day. I would watch TV. I used to watch TV. These two are past habits. The third one, be used to, is not the past. It's almost more for the present. Another one, the most common negative form of used to, I would say, didn't used to. Yeah, didn't used to, never used to. Number 3, which can be used to talk about a past state. For example, before, reporter, now teacher. When I was young, I would be a reporter. I used to be a reporter. Which one can we use? In this case, would is not possible, only used to. So let's do some practice questions, and then we're going to be almost out of time for today. There we go. Let me find some first, and then we'll switch over to the tab. Would used to be used to exercises. I think I already had one somewhere, but there we go. I gotta say, this is a little weird, just like talking to my computer. I know you guys are listening, but it's still a little weird.
You will get used to it.
Very nice, I will. And you guys will get used to this as well. Okay, I found a couple of practice questions. Make that bigger. And now switch over the tab. What is this tab? It's the Learn English something something. Stop sharing that. Just gonna test out here. Share a blank whiteboard. Okay. Haven't used this before. Let's see what it's like. Erase. Nice. We can do that. Pencil. Whoa. Excellent. Chrome tab. Oh, there it is. I think this is a good one to start with. Here we go. This is British Council. Make it a little bigger here. Okay, they used to live in London, but they no longer live there. Used to means something is finished. I didn't used to like olives. What does that mean? That means now this person does like olives. So in the past, no. Now, yes. We got that change. We can use used to. We would always go to the seaside for our holidays when I was a child. We can use would if there's an action here, a habit, but we can't use it for a state like. One holiday, we went to the mountains instead. How come in this sentence we changed to the past tense? Because it's not a habit, it's just one time. But the others, habits, means you did it many times. All right, here we go, grammar test. This one, when I was young, big house in the countryside. Is this active or a stative verb? In other words, we would live or used to live?
Used to live.
Good choice. That is the correct answer. We can't use would in this case because that one can only take the active dynamic verbs. On summer mornings, here's a habit. My brother and I, while everyone else was asleep. So used to go fishing or have fished. In this case, past tense would be just one morning, one time. But this is mornings, many times, a habit, which means we got to use used to. Okay, breakfast and go quietly out of the house to the river. This is continuing. Here's the clue here, go. When I was young, we would have breakfast and then go quietly out of the house. If we're talking about just one time, we had breakfast and then went out of the house. This would have to be past tense as well. Hours fishing in a small boat belonging to my grandmother. I think it's kind of strange to say something that you didn't used to do. So this one makes more sense. When I was a child, we would spend hours fishing. So using would, the feeling is what we call nostalgia, like you really missed that time and it was a good time. My brother, the names of all the different types of fish that were in the river. Now, if we said used to, that means he forgot them all, and we know he forgot them. A little strange. We're telling the story about the past. So we were fishing, we caught a fish. I think we don't need the homework today like we did yesterday and finish that whole big document because that's a lot. So I have an idea. Just to practice this grammar and make sure you've got it. So let me just take a minute to write that, and you're just going to do a couple of sentences, and maybe we can do it right now. So in the box here, write a sentence about past habits or states using would or used to. So everybody, one sentence, and this is just, for example, I used to live in Dubai. I used to enjoy fast food, but I don't anymore. A negative, I used to have a pet fish, but I don't anymore. So basically, your homework today, show me using would or used to. Just type a sentence here. Can you hear me? Yeah, you don't need to talk, just write it. Maybe let's we're gonna switch over to what's up. Don't and that's it for your homework for today. Sound good? Okay, Yosef, nice. Can you write it again in what's up? Because we're gonna finish this session in a minute, and that's it. You get your sentence done, and then you guys can chill. I should tell you, the school said we're supposed to do this every day for 2 class periods. So today we successfully finished 1 whole class period, but it's a lot. So I'm thinking what we do is every day we have 1 period like this where it's more, teachy, and then we're going to have another one, maybe just using what's up, or maybe this again for help with finishing homework or review or something like that. And then I think we can cut 1 class period every day, just like completely skip it and give you a little bit of homework. So this afternoon, I know we're supposed to start again 1 o'clock until 2:30. Maybe we'll just meet in what's up. I'll read your sentences, homework, stuff like that. And if you guys want to finish the Wednesday homework, that's up to you, but you don't have to send me anything today. So thanks, guys. It was our first Blackboard Collaborate session. I think it was good. And I'll see you over in what's up. 1 sentence from you, and that's your homework done for today. If you have any questions, of course, I'm at home, and I'll be here on what's up if you have anything you need. Cool. Also, tomorrow we're going to do 9 to 11 on Collaborate. Let's take a break. So have a good day, guys, and we'll see you over what's up, whatever, chill. Let's make good use of our Corona downtime. Okay, over and out.